So a spy, an assassin, and a telepath walk into a bar. Trust me, it's a good joke. Welcome to Ostania. It's been a few years since the Great War, but tensions still remain. A Westalian diplomat was recently killed in a suspicious car accident, and the far-right National Unity Party has been on the rise, trying to provoke a war between Ostalia and Westalis. Tensions have never been higher between East and West, but Westalian intelligence has got the perfect solution. Meet codename Twilight, Westalis's greatest asset. They've tasked the spy with the most convoluted mission you've ever seen, so to try stop another war from brewing, Twilight has to gain contact with this guy, Donovan Desmond of the aforementioned National Unity Party. If Desmond can be stopped, then the path to war may too be averted, with levelheads in the centre-right Nationalist Party being able to pursue peace with the West. But contacting Desmond is a difficult task indeed. He's rarely seen in public, and the only time he appears is at a private social gathering at Eden College, Ostania's most prestigious educational facility. So how should Twilight infiltrate Eden? Well, dear viewer, Westalian intelligence expects Twilight to procure a child, and thus have an appropriate cover story to attend these private social gatherings. Twilight is not happy, especially since he has to change his name to Lloyd now. The first 3 episodes of Spy Family are the highlight of the series. We are introduced to the city of Berlin, a city where the elites and the middle class live comfortably. Comfort is only sometimes disrupted by poverty and crime. Spy Family carefully constructs this bubble for its characters, which is interrupted rarely by the occasional incident. This Berlin bubble is a good reflection of what occurs in the real world. Those who generally live in capital cities are more well off and do live in a comfortable bubble. You really get a sense that Berlin is the busy capital of Ostania, with my immersion only sometimes broken by the CG crowds which traverse these streets. In the season's introduction of the 3 central characters, we gain a glimpse of each backstory and personality. The weary spy in Lloyd, overworked but never forgetting his purpose and his sense of duty to world peace. The reserved civil servant in Yor, only wanting a quiet life alongside her secret side job in being a professional assassin. And of course, the troublemaking telepath in Anya, never failing to act as the perfect comic relief. It's this dynamic trio who are the heart and soul of Spy Family. The series doesn't forget who this story is about. It's about the Forgers. Although it is only out of pragmatic means that these 3 have united, the interactions between the 3 don't feel forced, but instead rather wholesome. The situation the Forgers find themselves in makes for a very interesting scenario. It is unorthodox to the liberal worldview, because although this is a family which has formed out of necessity to hide each of their secrets, precisely because of the necessity of preservation, the Forgers are actually willing to work through their problems for the sake of the family's preservation. It is so unlike the modern view of the family, which views marriage as a business transaction. Marriage between man and woman only persists so long as both parties are able to achieve a net gain from the partnership. The moment that a disagreement comes up, Lloyd and Yor don't immediately separate. They work through it for the sake of preserving the marriage. Now you may object, saying that Spy Family still treats the family as an asset for Lloyd and Yor to achieve their objectives. But it should also be noted that the character development of the 2 partners is absolutely fascinating. While Anya is the only one at the start who wants for this family to persist as she is an orphan, the longer this family persists, the more and more Lloyd and Yor find a value in maintaining this family. We see the 2 parents over time developing a desire for this family's existence to persist. This high regard for the family is certainly what attracts me to Spy Family, because although the catalyst for forming this family is because of pragmatism, Spy Family demonstrates how the family unit is actually a great benefit rather than a burden. Marriage isn't something which holds back Lloyd. It's the method at which Lloyd starts becoming able to care about people. Likewise for Yor, marriage isn't a method of control by the patriarchy, but a space in which Yor is able to do so much more than her menial work in an office. And most drastically for Anya, the greatest benefit of the family unit is that it provides an environment in which children are able to be raised. There is a greater purpose by which each of these characters gain because of the family unit, and thus makes Spy Family a Christian anime. The building up of Damien Desmond is done simply. There's little fluff, we know who he is, and he's not overly complicated. And without spoiling anyone, his role in the episode 7 climax was the best payoff the series had to offer. I'm also glad that Spy Family knows its story revolves around the Forgers, so it would be super annoying if Anya got to know everyone in her class. So in this case, Becky Blackwell, from a character perspective, actually makes sense as Anya's only friend because we don't want to know about everyone else. Frankie's actually pretty funny for a side character. I also like Yor's brother, he's pretty cute, not gonna lie. And this teacher is kinda weird and he makes me very uncomfortable. I have to say this is the biggest reason why I don't fully say that this is a masterpiece. Let me make it clear that it's still a good show, but let us not pretend Spy Family has this particular flaw. And this is where the first 3 episodes, in which I originally said were Spy Family's greatest asset, now become its greatest liability for season 1. There is an expectation set up in the first 3 episodes that this show will at least try to be realistic, that it's taken inspiration from the real-life Cold War and is going to try to be realistic and emulate reality. And in particular, it is episodes 5 and 10 which leave a bad taste in my mouth. This castle sequence and this throwaway character from the volleyball comp are the worst moments of Spy Family. What intelligence agency in which spies would actually go ahead and decide to put on a performance at an amusement park? And what 5-year-old actually looks like this guy? I mean, seriously. And saying that Spy Family is a gag anime is the poorest defense you can make. Let's be honest here, there was an expectation that there would be a veneer of realism at least, and that expectation was not met. Anya Forger definitely carries Spy Family. Without the comedy relief she provides, without the wholesome moments, without us, the audience, cheering her on to do stuff, Spy Family doesn't work. So overall, if I were to take the first 3 episodes, the episode 7 climax, and Anya Forger alone, I would have given Spy Family a well-deserved 9 out of 10. But to put it bluntly, I have a few issues with this season to the point that I can't give it any more than a 7 out of 10. I certainly enjoyed the Spy Family experience, but there were a few scenes where the jokes don't land, dialogue was a bit lame, and the animation was a bit lacking. But a 7 out of 10 is still pretty good. Not to mention that I still find myself attracted to the show due to its high regard for the family unit. Though that doesn't mean that season 2 is out of the picture just yet. So if you want to see my take on it, click here on the left to see why Spy Family Part 2 is also a Christian anime.